Hey, and welcome to the Grit and Wit podcast, where we chat about what it looks like to live out Christianity and how we can have fun and enjoy life in the process. I'm your host, Rebecca Caldwell. Welcome to the party. Welcome back to today's podcast. It's your host, Becca. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I hope that you all are having a great day, whatever day it is. If you're listening to this on release day, it is Tuesday, and I hope that your Monday was good. I know for some of us, Mondays can be hard, and I have been intentional here recently about taking some time on Sundays to plan my week out to prepare myself for Monday, because sometimes Mondays can sneak up on me and punch me in the face and I'm not ready at all, and they just surprise me and take my feet out from under me. So I will do some food prep. I will make sure I go to bed on time and invest in some planning period time where I just line my week out and know what's happening so that I'm not thrown off guard, so that I'm not messed up. I lay my week out before me and try to get my life together before the week starts, right? So that you don't wake up Monday all frazzled and in a rush and freaked out because all these things that you have to do. So I want to encourage you to not let Monday throw you off. I want every day to be a good day for us, friends. I don't want Monday for us to have the Monday, blues where Mondays are just terrible. I want every day to be good for us. I want us to be those people who have a great Monday, who are ready for Mondays. So just want to encourage you that today, if you're listening to it on release day, it is Tuesday. If not, that's okay. Whatever day it is, Monday will come again next week. And I want to encourage you to take time. Maybe it's Saturday, maybe it's Sunday, whatever day works best for you. Be ready for Monday. Monday's coming. So do what you need to do to prepare yourself, prepare your mind, prepare your heart, prepare yourself physically. If you're like me and you get up early, I will go ahead and lay my clothes out, get everything ready so that when I get up, I'm not running around crazy. So do whatever you have to do and prepare yourself for life. Prepare yourself for success. All right. This past weekend, I actually got to help with a hot air balloon because in the Miss Loot was the balloon race weekend, and it was so much fun. We have been crewing with this balloon pilot for about 6 years now, I think, and it's so much fun. I was so happy we had good weather this year. They got to fly a little bit. I actually got to pretend pilot, and it was a blast. If you want to see a little bit about that, you can go on over to my Instagram at Becca D. Caldwell. You can check that out. It was so much fun, and pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and get my student pilot's license, log some hours, take a test, and just buy a balloon, right? Y'all would go riding with me, wouldn't y'all? Tell me about it. Tell me you wouldn't go ride with me. I would want some kind of amazing balloon that would probably be crazy expensive. Anybody out there in the hot air balloon making business? And I don't know what I would put on it. I'm thinking unicorns and confetti, but I want to shoot confetti out of it. I don't know how that would work, but anyways, that's where my brain is going. But that's not what we're really talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about an issue that I think is really important for us to learn in and to grow in. I think this is a place where all of us have room to grow. And so we're just going to jump in, all right? This past week, I listened to a recording of a well-known evangelical pastor, and he just quite literally bashed Beth Moore and then proceeded to berate women who preach and anyone who would endorse or allow women to preach. And he spoke about a couple of other topics as well, but that was the one he seemed the most upset about, and the one that quite honestly got me the most riled up. Not necessarily that I just disagree with him, but the way that he spoke about it really upset me because first off, they asked him the question. They said, we're going to throw this name out there, or we're going to throw a word out there, and the first thing that comes to your mind, just tell us. And so they threw out Beth Moore's name, and he said, go home. And then he continued to just be super angry about it. And He said, I just know women are not allowed to preach. And as a woman who preaches, obviously I disagree with him. And I wanted to stop listening to it right then and there, but also wanted to hear what else he had to say. I didn't want to take a single statement and make a gross assumption about this man, but as I continued to listen, I realized that I probably wasn't going to agree with much that was happening in this particular conversation. But the main issue that I had was how he talked about it. And he was just really disrespectful I won't say to because he wasn't talking to her, but about a woman of God who is doing the work of God. And I was just shocked that a man who proclaims the gospel and declares to be a man of God would act this way and then also get applause from those listening. And I was a little sad because he was very smug in his conversation and haughty about how he spoke about the topic. And that's just not representative of the God that I know. My God is not haughty. My God is not just mean, honestly. And disagreeing on the topic is not the issue. I know there are other people out there who agree with him. I know that there are personal friends of mine that probably agree that women shouldn't be allowed to preach, specifically to a congregation of men and women. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with the disagreeing. We don't have to agree. We can be friends in spite of that. The issue is that this man was downright ugly. He was quite literally being a jerk. And there was no love or kindness or gentleness at any point in the conversation as to the section that I heard. And so what I want to address today is that we as Christians are allowed to disagree without being argumentative, accusatory, and mean. We can disagree and not be jerks to one another. When we disagree, because disagreements will happen, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do with that? We first, I think, need to understand that there's a difference between discussing disagreements and arguing. Both are nouns that involve people talking with one another and telling about what they think or feel or know to be true. The difference is that arguments are angry quarrels. They are often noisy or angry in expression of different opinions. Whereas a discussion is the action or process of talking about something in order to reach a decision or exchange ideas. The difference is the emotion tied to it and the motive behind the conversation. Are you fueled by anger or a need to prove someone else is wrong and that you are right? In Proverbs 15:18, it says, "A hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but there is one who is slow to anger and calms a quarrel." We don't want to be those hot-tempered people who stir up conflict. We can remain calm. We can be slow to anger and calm a situation. But what sometimes ends up happening is we end up attacking one another instead of discussing whatever the issue at hand might be. We have the mindset that if you don't think or act or believe exactly like I do, then you as a human being are wrong, and we think we need to be the ones to correct that wrong. And we want to prove to the other person that they are wrong and convince them that we are right. Houston, we have a problem. I actually have a friend of mine who brought up it could have been a controversial topic had we not had the same kind of view on what was happening, but he was asking me how I felt about a specific situation or thing, and he followed up with the fact that he appreciated that he could ask that, he could talk about these things with me without the fear of what might happen if we disagreed, right? He knew that even if I happened to disagree with him, it wouldn't be an issue that caused an argument. It wouldn't end our friendship. It wouldn't even be a thing that we couldn't talk about. Now, granted, for some people, for some topics, they may need to be off limits. True, between you and some people. Maybe you leave politics as a non-discussion point. Maybe even certain topics are left off the table if you disagree and you understand that neither party shall be moved and you're both very passionate about the topic. I've actually had discussions with people and I don't want to argue. I'm a non-argumentative kind of person. I don't mind conflict and I don't mind discussion, but I don't want to fight with you. I just do not. I don't have it in me anymore. I used to love to argue. It's just not there anymore. And I have told somebody we've been discussing, I said, here's the thing. I'm not changing your mind and you're not changing mine. So we can just agree to disagree and move forward. And that's it. I'm not talking to you about it, because sometimes we cannot control other people and their passion or their anger or whatever it might be. And so we want to make sure that we are the people who bring calmness and not hot temper to a conversation, especially to a disagreement. Am I right? So how do we conversate with one another while disagreeing? Now, I found this, I adapted what I'm about to share with you from an article in The Briefing by Mark Thompson. And first things first is we want to pray. Pray. Holy Spirit, please be with us, right? Pray for those who you are talking to and pray for yourself. First and foremost, always keep that open line of communication with the Father. You want to pray for those who you're talking to. You want to pray for yourself. You want to be willing to receive instruction from the Holy Spirit, whether it's to speak up or to be quiet or whatever it might be. You want to have that line of communication open with the Lord. So pray. Number 2, ask questions. Don't assume that you know the point of view of the person that you're talking to. Don't assume that you know why they feel the way they feel or why they think the way that they think. And don't assume that they're just wrong in everything, okay? We want to be totally open to have them, to try to understand them, right? So ask questions. Why? Try to do a little digging. Why do they think that way? Why do they process or feel a certain way? Make sure you ask questions. So number 1, pray. Number 2, ask questions. Number 3, don't go in as hero versus villain or right versus wrong. This is not a fight. It's a discussion. If you go in with the mentality of it being a fight, of somebody's coming out a winner and somebody's coming out a loser, it will cause you to be offensive and attack that person, or become defensive in your response and attack in response to whatever it is that they're saying to you. And so you cannot go in with the fact of somebody's coming out winner and somebody's coming out a loser. Do not go in with the thought process that this is a fight and you have to win. Now, I know that a lot of us look at life in winning and losing statuses, and we have to change that mentality. Do not go in with I'm going to win and they're going to lose. Don't do that, right? Okay, number 4, try to understand and sympathize about why they think or believe the way that they do. Try to understand what makes them think how they think. What makes them believe the way that they believe? And this kind of reverts back to number 2, where you're asking questions. That leads into understanding and sympathizing. Maybe you don't agree. I'm not saying that you agree with everything. What I'm saying is try to understand where they're coming from. Try to sympathize with where they're at, okay? Number 5, we want to aim for love and truth, not your own victory. This is not a fight. Again, it's coming back to that. This is not a fight. It is not about your victory. It is for love and truth to prevail, especially if you are proclaiming Christ, especially if you say, I'm a Christian and I'm talking to you as a Christian. That should be our first and foremost. The suit that we put on every day is the armor of God, and we want to come in aiming for love and truth to prevail, not our own agendas, not our own belief systems, not our own anything, but always love and truth to prevail and to go forth, not our own whatever, okay? Number 6, we want to persuade, not correct. So we want to offer up our thoughts. We want to offer up, this is what I believe. We want to offer up our point of view, but we don't need to go in with the thought that we're going to correct their point of view, all right? 1 Timothy 5, 1 and 2 says, never speak harshly to an older man, but appeal to him respectfully as you would to your own father. Talk to younger men as you would to your own brothers. Treat older women as you would your mother, and treat younger women with all purity as you would your sisters. Now, I think this comes down to the fact that we are going in with love and kindness with whoever it is that we're talking to. We're not coming in harsh. We're not coming in with aggressiveness. We are coming in respectfully. That means I respect however it is that you think or believe or whatever your point of view is. I'm going to respect it. I'm not coming at you harshly or aggressively. I'm going to respect your point of view. I'm going to treat you as I would my mother. I'm going to come at you with purity of heart, not with malice or ill intent or whatever it might be. We want to come in with the thought process that we are not the Holy Spirit. We cannot convict someone else. We cannot correct someone else. We can absolutely express our concern. We can state our case, but we cannot convince someone else that they should come to our side. We can merely offer it up to them. That's it. When I went through Revelation Wellness Training, which is a fitness ministry, they would tell us all the time, your job is merely deliver the pizza. We cannot make somebody eat the pizza. We cannot even make the pizza ourselves, right? The pizza is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And all we can do is deliver it. All we can do is knock on the door and say, hey, I have this delicious goodness for you to take. Would you like a piece? And they can take it or they cannot take it. And we can take that concept and apply it to every aspect of our lives, where we have this opinion, whatever it might be, and we can offer it up to people, but we cannot make them believe or think or do the things that we are thinking and doing. We just cannot. That's not even our place. We cannot convince. We cannot correct. We merely can offer it up and just offer it. Here it is. And so I hope that today's episode has helped you in some way. Maybe this helps you have better conversations and discussions and allows you to connect with people and understand them in ways that you haven't before. Maybe it even opens up opportunity for the Lord to change our hearts in areas where we need to change. A lot of times we go into discussions thinking that other people need to change, other people are the problem. And can we really kind of go in willing and receptive for the Lord to do work on our hearts as He reveals His truth to us? And that should be the ultimate goal, for God's truth to prevail, not our own. God's truth to prevail. So I'm just going to go through it one more time. How to conversate while disagreeing. Number 1, pray for those who you're talking to and pray for yourself. Number 2, ask questions. Don't assume that you know why they think the way they think or how they feel. Ask questions. Number 3, don't go in with it being a fight. You are not the hero. They are not the villain. Don't go in with that mentality. Number 4, try to understand and sympathize about why they think or believe the way that they do. Try to understand. Number 5, aim for love and truth, not your own victory. And number 6, persuade, don't correct. Persuade, don't correct. Go in with kindness. Go in with love, knowing that God's truth should prevail and not our own. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure that if you haven't yet, you can go and leave a rating and review over on iTunes. I would greatly appreciate that. The more ratings and reviews, the more it just lets other people know that you're enjoying the podcast and that they might enjoy it as well. Also, be sure to share, text a friend, let them know they should take a listen. If it speaks to your heart, if somebody's on your heart, share it with them. Share it on social media, hashtag Grit and Wit Podcast, hashtag sharing is caring. And you can follow me on Instagram at Becca D. Caldwell. You can DM me there if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. And you can also become a financial supporter of the podcast. And you can do that by heading over to patreon.com/gritandwit. That's patreon.com/gritandwit. And for all my patrons out there, you might be getting a happy in the mail soon, so keep an eye out for that. I just want to let you guys know I'm thankful for you and grateful for your prayers and your support. And for all of you out there listening, thank you, thank you, thank you. It means the world that you show up here each and every week. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll just pop up wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And yeah. All right, friends. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, I'll talk to you next week, friends. See you then.